Hello, happy Sunday. This is Marissa from Grow in the Flow, popping on here for our week ahead card pulls. And I'm coming at you just on the other side of the very powerful and magical 11-11-11 portal that we have just come through. And if you are watching this on the Marco Polo Sharecast, you saw some of the special offerings that I put out for the recognition of this day and working with that energy. And I hope that you are feeling some of the uplifting, magical portal energies that day brought forward. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's been rough over here, like Scorpio season and post eclipse and building up to this new moon in Scorpio we have tomorrow. So yesterday was a welcoming reprieve for me personally, and I am working on sort of rallying and riding those energies to really be in flow with the deep and sometimes very heavy, sometimes very emotional and excruciating energies that we might be moving through at this time. And so, we're just going to see what comes up this week. You may recall that last week it was a doozy when it comes to some of those cards that are known in the tarot for bringing forth some really intense, transformational, sudden shifts and energies as it culminated into that 10 of Swords at the end of the week, which, like I said, I kind of wasn't expecting it for myself personally, but it really did get me. So Friday was a rough day. Yesterday, Saturday, really was trying to harness these energies of the 11-11 gateway. And now we move into the Scorpio new moon happening tomorrow, Monday, depending on where you are in the world. So if you're seeing this on one of my social media spaces, this is a sample of what I do over on the Empowerment Sharecast on the free Marco Polo app, where we kind of go deeper. We get more authentic communication over there outside of some of the noise of social media. So everyone is invited to join me there. The link is either here in the caption or in my bio. When you come over there to check out the messages for the cards we're about to bring forward, you can also request your personal card pull, and I will send you a card pull for your week ahead. So let's get into it. We have a 5-card spread we do every week. This month, we're working with this beautiful Northern Animal Tarot deck. Really enjoying the messages coming forward there. We're going to do a bonus message again from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck by Kyle Gray. And since we have a new moon in Scorpio happening tomorrow, we will also be pulling a card from the Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. So let's start there, since Monday is our new moon. Energies in Scorpio. I will be diving into talking a little bit about those energies. I'm getting ready for the empowerment pack to dive into our new moon Scorpio reading. Anyone who would like to get in on that, reach out to me and let me know. I have a special offer if you would like to just receive that new moon reading and a personal card pull for yourself. We get into it deep. We're doing a 6-card spread for the new moon, and we're going to be talking about the astrological aspects that are at play and some of the elements that are coming forward to help us move through and maximize working with this deep new moon in Scorpio. So here we are setting an intention for us collectively to bring forward an overarching energy for this new moon. Something coming forward here from the Queen of the Moon Oracle. What is coming in here for us to work with in these energies? Card 22, Wisdom. How perfect yesterday with the 11-11-11 energy, because it was the 11th month, the 11th day, and as an entire date, including 2023, it added up to 11. So numerologically, we had a very, very powerful energy we were coming through, which was also highlighting the master numbers 11, 22, and 33. So here we have card 22, the card of wisdom. So we will be getting into that on the Empowerment Sharecast when we touch on these new moon energies, how you can flow with them this week, and we'll tune into the Queen of the Moon to see what's coming forward with wisdom as our guidance into and through the depths of this new moon. So as we are talking about that Monday energy, let's see what's going to come up here with our Monday through Friday spread. Again, this is tapping into our collective energies. So that's bringing forward messages for you, in the microcosm and the macrocosm. And so as always, some messages resonate more than others. You're always invited to take what resonates and leave the rest. And like I said, if you would like a personal card pull, I do offer those complimentary over on the free Marco Polo Empowerment Sharecast. So you can just, if you're watching on Marco Polo, respond here after you view it, or you can shoot me a message. If you're watching on social media, feel free to comment below, and we will get you all hooked up to receive your personal card pull as well. So Monday is going to kind of set the tone for the week ahead, give us a look at what is to come, and we're diving into these new moon energies. One card here for Monday. Ooh, temperance, dipping a toe into it, finding that moderation midway. Beautiful energy. I love it here with this angelic looking porcupine. Love it. Okay, we're going to dive into that along with the wisdom. How perfect when we talk Monday. So now Tuesday represents in our spread a potential block or challenge this week. A potential block or challenge. We know we had a lot of major arcana energy last week. We had a lot of significant energies. Let's see what we have coming in here now. Card for Tuesday. We've got the Fool. Perfect. Talk about clean slate, fresh energy. We've had the Fool already this month as a potential block or challenge. Why would it be difficult for us to set out on new, on the other side of that new moon? So we'll be diving into that. Wednesday is going to bring forward our midweek blessing. So we have the energy of Wednesday's midweek blessing coming forward. Got a lot of activity here today. So my kids are all having friends and things coming and going. There we go. Knight of Cups, bringing in that offering as company arrives to my door. So that is very divinely timed there. We have this beautiful energy of a midweek blessing in that Knight of Cups. So now we'll see what's coming forward for Thursday for how we are growing. How are we growing through the energies of this week on the other side of this new moon and all of the other aspects that are at play? We've got a number of planets that are very active under this new moon and energies that are happening this week, which I will touch on when we kind of give our little energetic weather report here on the other side of the card pull. What's coming up for Thursday? How we are growing. King of Swords. Wow. Talk about bringing in the wisdom like the Queen of the Moon Oracle had brought forward. Nice. Okay, we're going to get into that for how we are growing. Loving that Aquarius energy. And then we have our Friday wrap up for the week. How are we wrapping up our week? Energies coming in. So we noticed that there is a lot of water represented here between dipping the toe in the temperance energy. And both of these, I'm feeling this energy of water and flow, but then also the air aspects coming in too. So emotion, thoughts. The air brings us into the mental. The emotion, the water brings us into the heart. So this is Scorpio season. Friday, what's coming forward? Deep feels, deep thoughts, and all. Yeah, so now we've got the Nine of Wands. Last week we ended with that Ten of Swords. Here we have the Nine of Wands, which is a card of perseverance. It is a card of perseverance, of not giving up, of almost being there, right? And taking a look at this energy that's coming through, beautifully depicted. Yeah, I hadn't seen that card yet. Loving that. We will definitely be feeling into that. Let's pull our final card, a bonus message from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle for us. Best advice and guidance for us, support from Spirit for this week as we navigate. What's coming forward there? One card here from Angels and Ancestors. great teacher, learn from spiritual experiences. And that is giving me all kinds of master teacher vibes for sure. Wow, that is so powerful, guys, because this is giving me Christ consciousness energy, and the master number associated with that is 33. So as I said, wisdom bringing forward 22, great teacher feeling like master number 33. And of course, this is all under 1111 energy. So wow, really feeling that, pulling it all together here. We are going to dive into these things and more as we get into our week ahead messages, again, over on the Marco Polo Empowerment Sharecast. If you are not there yet, please join us. It's free, it's fun. You're welcome to request your personal card pull. If you are already here, thank you so much. Let's get into it now with touching on our energetic weather report for this week ahead. Okay, guys, we are kicking off our messages for this week with the Queen of the Moon Oracle message that has just come forward for us. I'm a little bit blown away. This is happening in real time, so just bear with me as I'm sharing these messages. So during the card pull, we set the intention to pull a card for the overarching theme or message for us collectively from this new moon in Scorpio happening tomorrow, Monday, kicking off our week. And we got card 22, the card of wisdom. And you may or may not know, as I talk about the work I do with Metatron color healing, and as a part of that practice, Metatron is one of my primary guides, and with him is the counterpart energy of Archangel Sandalphon. Archangel Sandalphon is the archangel who is at the Earth Star chakra, the chakra at the bottom of our feet that connects us into the earth. And he brings forward a very grounded energy. He's also the archangel of music. So whenever Sandalphon is around, I get songs. Sometimes I even sing. If you've had readings with me or been following my offerings, you may have heard me break into a little ditty here and there. The master number that is associated with Archangel Sandalphon is the number 22. So following the breadcrumbs, I bring in the bronze energy of the Earth Star chakra here with Archangel Sandalphon. And instantly, as I made that connection and looked at this card, I heard the song Walk on the Ocean by Toad the Wet Sprocket. Okay, so we're going there, guys. This is a song from the 90s. I am going to play it because we are here on Marco Polo, where I am free to express myself with music and without copyright problems. I do not own the rights to this music, but we're going to play it, setting the tone here for the messages that are coming through for us with this new moon. Now, before I do that, because I'm going to talk a little bit about that song, I want to follow the spiritual breadcrumbs here with you as we dive into the messages of the Queen of the Moon and this card Wisdom, because we see that she is standing atop a tower of books on a boat that seems to be in the sky or in some way in this misty, foggy place, and we're reaching for some higher place, right? There's this energy of higher learning that's coming in here. And this is a card that carries a message about knowledge versus wisdom and the idea of, what we are gleaning through our experiences during this lifetime, right? So we talk about wisdom being more than mere knowledge, that there could be something that we're not seeing and have a need to perhaps research more thoroughly or dig into more deeply that's coming forward for us, knowing that wisdom is gathered over time. We learn from our experiences. And so this is an opportunity for us to really look at what has been coming up for us in this very deep and intense time of Scorpio season and all of the other aspects we've been talking about, to really turn the page and peel back these layers on recognizing what all of our experiences have taught us, what knowledge we have gained, yes, but this wisdom that we have been building upon. So here we have, this card of wisdom coming forward with this intentional mantra that says, I use my knowledge and experience to make wise decisions. And so it talks about our innate wisdom within our body. that, when the body is healthy and it knows just what to do, what it needs to keep us alive and moving without really thinking too much about it, right? Most of the time, we aren't even aware of trying to keep our heart beating or of breathing when we sleep, right? These are all innate abilities that we have in the amazing vehicle that is our body, our chariot that's carrying us through this lifetime. So similarly, we have this innate reasoning system, intuition, that allows us to get answers or to receive information without conscious thinking. And it's that feeling or hunch of information or insight that is just there. So some people believe that this is the wisdom that we receive from the gods or the very spark of the divine voice that is left within us. It's a very old kind of wisdom that sits in a very old part of the brain, as the Queen of the Moon Oracle is expressing here. So then there is the gathering of knowledge and experience and what we discern and learn from this. So if the result has acuity, if it is successful in the real world and good in sense and perception, it most probably is wise, so it says. So it talks about the getting of wisdom is something that takes time, typically, and that is something that we can be impatient for. And what I'm feeling here, outside of, just what the Oracle is sharing, these experiences that, we've been moving through. And so some of them kind of heavy, some of them, like I said, also could be some degrees of frustration, especially if they're familiar, right? We're coming around again on experiences, emotions, struggles, things that we have been moving through. And it feels like, when am I graduating from this level? When am I turning the page and no longer going to have to continue to experience this thing, these feelings, whatever it is? What is this coming up to show me? What have I learned from this, right? And so these are questions that we are being challenged to ask ourselves or to really reflect upon. In the new moon energies, that is where there is an absence of light. So there is darkness. There is some things that are not within our ability to see them. So this is where we feel them. And that's the Scorpio energy, the deep feeling energy, and getting into those depths. It's not so much something that we see with our eyes or that we read in a book, right? So let me bring in Toad the Wet Sprocket so we can see what might be coming in here with these messages too. So I'm just allowing the music to just sort of play. And I was kind of just looking it up right now to see, what is the meaning behind this song, Walk on the Ocean? And as I think about, what I see here on this card, the idea that, this song is potentially a reflection, a perception, looking at change, and these lyrics that talk about trying to find meaning and purpose in the world, and the overwhelming feeling that comes with contemplating the vastness of nature. So there's a couple of key lyrics that are being pointed out here. That we spotted the ocean at the head of the trail. Where are we going? So far away, right? This line is representing the start of this journey, where the speaker is confronting the distance between himself and the vast ocean. So, again, looking at this card, right? We're on this rowboat. We're trying to stay afloat. There's what we know. There's what we don't know. There's what we're reaching for, where we wish to be, that seems so far away, and all of the messages we've been getting about, I am not just a drop in the ocean, but the entire ocean in a drop, right? That beautiful quote from Rumi. So here we talk about being caught up in all of that and finding a sense of the connectedness amongst all when it is so vast and big and feels so far out of touch. The song goes on to talk about, this is life under the landslide, caught in the mudslide. I ain't afraid of dying. So here, the singer is trying to convey this perspective that one's perception of life can change, as is the case with a landslide, right? The idea that the speaker is not afraid of death also suggests that he's already faced or is facing his mortality and has come to terms with it. Now, if you've been here and following our cards this month so far, we just had our first full week last week, and we got the Death card, the card of Scorpio. We got the Tower card. We got the Ten of Swords. These are all cards that speak to these messages, right? This energy of death, not just in the physical sense of death. We're talking about this energetic energy of death and rebirth, of transformation, right? And so here we're talking about these landslides, these things that can come along and really, pull us down into the depths. But the idea that this is not something that I'm afraid of, right? I've already faced this before. I face it again. So we move through these processes. So here, there is one other mention here of the different lyrics, and it talks about walk on the ocean, step on the stones, flesh becomes water, wood becomes bone. So there's many different ways, of course, as always, lyrics can be interpreted. And this here, we have this overall idea that there's an attempt to understand the interconnectedness of life and the world around him. He wants to be part of it and immerse himself in nature's beauty, right? But there's, again, this sense of being able to tangibly feel that or have that connectedness and the depths of energies and emotions we could be moving through, and how that can be quite difficult, especially when, like we see in this card, it's misty, it's not clear, right? But yet we can strive for trusting in the wisdom that we have gleaned, the wisdom that we already have, that we are uncovering. I'm bringing in the Earth Star chakra, the bronze ray, the energy from Sandalphon. So this is going very deep. I know we're just, kind of doing a quick hit on our energies for this week. So I'm just giving you a little taster. This is definitely inspiring the messages that I'm going to be going into even more with our empowerment pack. So once again, if you are interested in receiving the messages, I'll be diving into a reading, usually the part 1 of our moon readings, whether it's the new moon or the full moon, or almost about an hour. I'm doing a 5 or 6 card spread this month. I'm going to do a 6 card spread. We're working with this new moon in Scorpio. We're going to be bringing in these messages and more, and then offer you a personal card pull for your new moon energies. So if you're interested in coming along for that, just reach out to me and I will get you all set up to receive that reading and your personal cards for that as well. But thank you for humoring me here with these breadcrumbs. I hope it makes sense. Sometimes I feel like I'm crazy, but I just can't believe how all of that just came together so beautifully when it comes to, this energy of the master teacher numbers that are coming up, and how, we ended up here with this 11, 22, and 33. So let's go ahead now and start diving into our week ahead messages for Monday through Friday. And then we will cap it off with that energy of 33 master teacher that came forward from the angels and ancestors. All right, we're launching into our week with our week ahead spread and our oracle cards that are coming in. I'm just going to touch a little bit more on the energetic weather report that's coming in here, as we've been talking about this new moon in Scorpio, talking about just coming off of the 11, 11, 11 energy of yesterday, and all of the magic that we can tap into there with this magical number, which can also indicate manifestation, closeness around guardian angels, spirit guides, indications of what you are asking for coming your way. So that has been an energy that we are coming through now for manifestation, for work in gratitude, and honoring whatever makes these numbers special for you. So really tapping into all of that as we then move into this new moon, which again, opportunities for the new, planting the seeds, what we're looking to manifest, the wishes that we are setting out into the universe. Now, with this new moon in Scorpio, we also have the sun opposite Uranus for November 13th, Monday, kicking it all off. So as the sun aligns opposite the planet of awakening and surprise, yes, there's more, Uranus, this energetic bridge between the sun and Uranus can stimulate out-of-box ideas. innovative thinking, new ways of doing things. So that energy in and of itself can be very inspirational energy. It can help us to find solutions, to open doors that were previously closed. And all the while, this powerful planet of awakening and surprise, the energy from Uranus can be quite erratic at times. So we also could be experiencing some unstable or scattered energy. So we could be feeling a little bit all over the place, feel this intense desire to make some changes. Yes, that's how I was feeling this morning. This energy will pass over the next few days, but Uranus always tends to shake things to awaken us to new possibilities. So we find ourselves here. Again, I'm moving through this and I'm talking to you from that place. But I personally have been feeling some really deep, very heavy energies. And a message I just heard right before I came back in here to start this part of our week ahead messages is about the acknowledging of the fact that you're not stuck, right? We can feel stuck. We can feel on repeat. We can feel sort of like, Groundhog Day, moving around these things. But actually what we're feeling is our resistance. I don't want to be where I am. I may not like where I am or what I'm feeling, right? But it's not true stuckness. It's just what I am experiencing in a moment. And so opening myself up to allow, to surrender to whatever energies are flowing in is the key to releasing myself of the feeling of stuckness, not in reality, right? In reality, we're exactly where we are meant to be, energetically moving through what is. And we all have different experiences of what that is defined as, right? So none of this is to negate the significance, the heaviness at times, the darkness of a lot of these energies that we are experiencing collectively and individually. And of course, that's going to show up so many different ways. So this big energy of awakening and surprise from Uranus is no exception to the party. Definitely a heavy hitter here. And with that is this new moon in Scorpio, an intense one, with the energies of Mars strong at play as well. So as I was saying, new moons being a time of introspection and reflection, the darkness, the absence of light, right? Energy gets drawn inwards. And here, and in fact, it is very at home in the energies of Scorpio, this watery feminine energy of reception and going within. As it draws inwards, we can tend to feel perhaps more in tune with our inner world, more drawn into our inner world. And so that's why new moons are such a good point in the month to check in with yourself, see how you are feeling. And that's what I'm getting here right off the bat, feeling into these energies is feeling, not knowing, right? Not in the head, in the heart. And I mentioned, as we're about to dive into our spread, we have water and air heavily coming up this week. So it's those two things, kind of culminating, coming together, clashing maybe in some ways, having an opportunity to bring into more balance and harmony, as in fact, temperance will be telling us in just a moment for Monday's energy of bringing things into balance and alchemizing feeling, right? But with this fiery Mars action under this new moon, we could be feeling restless, agitated, or irritable. Things can feel like they are out of control, and this can be challenging to reckon with. So, this is really bringing into the energies of moving through these energies, surrendering, being in flow with these energies. And so this new moon is going to help us to clear some of those eclipse energies that we have still been experiencing. Because we know eclipses are highly transformative. So this is an ideal opportunity for us to find, within this energy of transformation, that things are beginning to settle and we can start to feel more grounded. So again, I'm bringing in the bronze earth star chakra energy as well. And that also invites us to do whatever practices help you to feel more grounded. Whether it is some intentional breathing, meditation, going out in nature, just, sitting for a few moments in your surroundings and tapping into each of your senses to get, come back into a space. Those types of things can be helpful. The only other thing I'll highlight here is just on the other side of our week that we're covering with our card polls, November 18th Saturday, we have the Sun conjunct Mars, and so Mars is still on the list here, being active once again because it's coming into its annual alignment with the Sun. So just on the other side of this week and riding out all these energies as you move into next weekend, Mars and the Sun coming together can definitely be a fiery, passionate, and motivating dynamic. So if you've been feeling like you could use a boost, this combination of energy can be great for charging things up. But also, sometimes this surge of energy could lead to burnout as well. So just kind of understanding where you are. And so depending on where you are in your life, this combination of Sun and Mars can feel energizing or completely depleting. Because Mars energy is generally like a short-lived, comes in hot energy, but it quickly burns through or moves through. So, listen to your body and know that it all is just passing through, like the weather, right? This energetic weather. So Sun and Mars coming together in Scorpio. So once again, this can motivate us to dig deep and uncover these final layers that are keeping us feeling stuck, right? Or in a place of inauthenticity. Everything that cannot stand is being stripped away. That has really been the overarching message for me to take away from Scorpio season. So let's take all of that with us into our 5 cards now with a look at Monday through Friday. Okay, we are kicking off our week ahead spread with the Monday energy, and it's coming in, flowing in with the beautiful energy of blending, harmonizing, and moderation from Temperance, Major Arcana card of Temperance. And it's beautifully depicted here with this angelic porcupine showing this dipping of the toe into the depths with all of these lilies or lotus coming up to the surface, reminding us, no mud, no lotus, no mud, no lily. It grows through the muck. It grows through the challenges and the murkiness of the depths. And so as we've been talking about, wherever you're finding yourself, whatever side of the spectrum, or above or below surface, you find yourself here in Scorpio season and all the other substantial energies that we've been experiencing. Temperance is actually a beautiful energy to start off this week and on the day of the new moon in Scorpio, because it is bringing in the balance and the healing of flow, of finding that middle path, of harmonizing, but also alchemizing, right? So taking whatever circumstances we have, I'm in the muck, I'm in the mud, and yet the lotus, the lily blooms. It finds a way, it thrives in an environment that is very heavy, dense, right? So, however you're feeling, we have this, alchemization on offer here for us to bring in some really healing energies and just kind of dipping our toe into things, being gentle with ourselves, being present in whatever energies. Like I said, if we're feeling stuck in the mud, stuck in the muck, that is because there is some type of resistance, some type of pushback that on some level, an aspect of us is bringing forward, And so as we tap into those messages of the wisdom card from the Queen of the Moon, telling us that, through our experiences and over time, all of these things have culminated for us to bring forward or to reawaken within us some real wisdom, some guidance, and using our knowledge, using our feelings, all of those things to be guideposts. We see this sun on the horizon here in this card, and this is a porcupine. And we see this pathway moving through. So again, there's just this middle way, this middle path, this way for us to kind of come into equilibrium, no matter how heavy it has been or where we have been on that spectrum, like I said. So I think that Temperance is just lighting the way forward, creating an opening, creating flow for us to sort of find our way through, and I'll say feel our way through, because like I said, this keyword of feeling is really coming forward for me in the Scorpio season, Scorpio sun, Scorpio moon. So feeling, right? The depths, peeling back and feeling. So that's sort of setting the tone here for our week, but also just from a practical, how this can show up for us. There is this energy of being like a moderator or being like in the middle of things. So sometimes we may be like finding ourselves trying to diffuse situations or in some way bring healing or resolution to something from two different aspects. You know, again, the energy of this pouring from one side to the other, alchemizing, diffusing even situations. And I mentioned some of the Mars activity, the Uranus activity that's all present here as we meet on Monday. That, you know, again, some of that fiery, heated energy that could use the cooling and the soothing of bringing some healing and moderation in there. But let's go ahead and see how that ties in with the rest of our week, starting now with Tuesday, for the potential blocker challenge. Tuesday is bringing in our potential blocker challenge this week as the Fool. And look at this guy, this adorable Fool setting out on adventure, focusing on that white flower. Here we see Lady Luck there at their feet, sort of trying to get their attention, but pay no mind. They are on a mission of just adventure and setting out with curiosity. In fact, right there at the edge of the cliff. This is the Fool's energy, card 0, starting out, right? So this is the beginning. So how may this be a blocker challenge? This is actually the card that came up 2 weeks ago. It was the card that came up on Halloween. So it was the last card of October, kicking off the beginning of November. So we talked about just a couple weeks ago, how might the Fool be a block or a challenge? How can starting fresh and having a new beginning be challenging? Many ways, right? We know that when we're setting off onto something new, something unknown, something that is new to us, so we could feel out of our depths or unsure how it's going to go, right? This is my first day ever stepping out in this role or into this adventure or whatever it is. So many people could be starting something new this week or, you know, looking to start something new, having a desire to start new, but maybe not really being sure where to begin, or feeling some of that angst about being out of our depths, being out of our comfort zone, walking away from those old things that we've been getting it's enthusiastically encouraged to leave behind, right? To strip away, to release, to shed, to let go. And now that we are coming through a new moon, so we start this new cycle, we have to look at where to from here. But the sun is shining, right? So this is a good problem to have, right? If we're going to have to pick a potential blocker challenge this week, let it be under the bold sun that we have this opportunity, because again, I notice all the red, right? And I see this energy of the darker energies of being protected, of being safe, while also being carried forward with our intuitive knowing and our passion, because this is giving me orange, purple, red. Of course, we see all this yellow, which is the solar plexus, which is bringing in courage, bravery, joy, following our joy. Right? So I can see that there's maybe danger afoot for this mouse who doesn't see, because they're too caught up in focusing on this beauty, this excitement. And the point being that it's all a part of our journey, right? This Fool's journey. Because yes, sometimes we will trip, sometimes we will fall, sometimes we'll try something and it won't work out exactly how we thought it might or how we planned. And again, in hindsight, in retrospect, on the other side of that journey, do we now see the knowledge and wisdom that we gleaned through having had the experience? So it's all good. It's all a part of this process, this journey that we are on. So, you know, yes, that can be challenging. Yes, we can feel blocked when we're eager to start something new and maybe we're still tying up the loose ends of the old stuff. That's been a big feeling I've been having, is like this desire to want to clean up these loose ends of these unfinished things that have been hanging around. When I was feeling the heaviness of those 10 swords on Friday last week, it was just like crushing under the weight of all of these unfinished things that are hanging over. And it's like, okay, what things, again, year of the chariot, I'm in the driver's seat, can I affect? How can I experience this? So let me roll up my sleeves and set out on an adventure to see, how can I lighten this load? You see the Fool carrying that little knapsack over their shoulder. They're packing light. They're not schlepping along everything in the kitchen sink. It's not coming with you. It has served its purpose. These can be old practices, habits that you've had. It can be actual relationships, people, places, and things that are no longer serving you or that have served you, that you can then say, thank you for serving me, namaste, and we turn and move forward. But we're shedding those dense layers. We're releasing, we're packing light so that we can move forward. And so again, that can be challenging, right? That can have with it its own set of challenges. So however that might be showing up for you, the beautiful silver lining is the new beginning on the horizon. It is coming. It is here. It's just a matter of us taking those steps. And another beautiful thing about Sandalphon's energy, since he is so present here in these messages today, is he encourages small steps, taking small practical steps, not just running and leaping off that cliff, taking one foot in front of the other, taking these steps, practical, down to earth, tangible, again, feeling this energy of being brought down into the physical, getting grounded and looking at these ways that we can do things one thing at a time. And I do see some of that structured energy coming in here further down the spread as well. So let's go ahead and see how we move through this potential block or challenge into the midweek blessing that's coming up next. Wednesday is bringing in our midweek blessing, and it's such a beautiful, gentle energy. It's actually this nightly bison that's coming in with this beautiful offering to us. So we're into the suit of cups, the Knight of Cups. And so as we talk about in the tarot, the court cards, including the Knight, as well as the pages, the queens, the kings, represent people, the energy of personalities or energies in a situation. So sometimes this Knight of Cups can represent you or someone around you. Also can be aspects that you could be encouraged to embody or the energies around a situation. Okay. Cups is bringing us into the element of water, heart chakra energy, feelings, right? So flow and feelings. Like I said, we have this energy of flow coming in. There's a stream here. There's this energy with the temperance of alchemizing and flowing. And once again, midweek, this energy of flow. So we have this bison coming in, and the knights represent as well some type of action, some type of step or flow. And I love how, so temperance was kind of like looking back, right? So if we're looking at the way that these messages are flowing, and I know it shows up backwards for you on the screen, but we can see here the temperance is looking this way, and we have the fool looking this way, we have the bison looking this way in the night. So we have this energy of coming and going, right? And we're moving through. And so going forward, we have the energy of this messenger coming in with action, taking steps, but they're very much, again, like I was just saying about the Sandalphon energy, small steps to flow in the direction, okay? And actually the Northern Animal Tarot says it quite beautifully. So I'm going to share what it says here about the bison stepping up softly towards the stream, right? This dreamy bison, because the Knight of Cups also brings sort of like a romantic, loving, dreamy, imaginative energy as well. So again, this could be you, maybe feeling inspired, maybe feeling a little hopeful, and allow that to be. If you are feeling hopeful, if you're feeling inspired, or you could be in the presence of someone who's carrying that vibration that you can allow to inspire you, right? So it goes on to say that the bison is gazing towards where the river flows, right? And so taking actions with truth, leading with your heart is the guidance. Moving carefully out of one's comfort zone, right? We just lightly packed our bags. We started to focus on that beautiful flower of inspiration, of rebirth and new beginning, right? We're following that energy, and we see that going through here in our story here with this energy where it's talking about moving carefully out of comfort zone into the wilderness of life's unknown places. Your passions will move you forward to tell your story in the world, while also being fueled by others' art and lifestyles. Soak up all that is given and shared around you and let it fill your cup. So again, I feel like Whether this is coming from within you or from the external, it's about allowing yourself to be inspired, allowing yourself to start to feel the flow of coming out. The sun has risen, new dawn, new day, new beginning, new lunation, right? We're on a new moon cycle now. So we're moving away from those very transformative and, jolting eclipse energies with these quantum leaps onto these new timelines, feeling the disorientation of being sort of transported there and kind of reeling from all of those competing energies, finding that middle way, finding that path, getting our bearings. And now we turn, as we see here, and start to focus with a renewed spirit, right? Refilling our cup. So whether that's coming from within, from following your own sparks of passion and ideas and inspirations, or you are seeing others reflecting that back to you, allow yourself to be inspired, right? And then perhaps take that inspired action one step at a time. Okay, so I'm feeling that feels really good. Let's take that into the next court card coming forward for us this week with our king for Thursday's energy of how we are growing. Now we are moving into Thursday, how we are growing, and we have this very strong and powerful, stable, wise energy of the King of Swords. So more court card energy coming in to reflect back to us aspects of ourself, perhaps aspects of others in our environment, or things that we are being encouraged to embody. So the energy of the King of Swords is a very strong, stable, sturdy energy and I love that the owl came forward because it's underscoring our Queen of the Moon message of wisdom, right? Of really leaning into our wisdom that we have cultivated over time. So once again, we have this double reference to wisdom with the owl crowned here as the King of Swords. That's bringing us into our thoughts, the crown, our beliefs, our ideas, our inspirations. And the thing about the king is that energy, and it's not necessarily masculine energy or feminine or king or queen. It's about the embodiment of the best of the swords suit, the air element, our thoughts, our wisdom, our knowingness, right? And also just the air element can also speak to how we communicate. Brings us into the throat chakra as well. So crown, throat chakra, this energy of how we rule, right, in our life as the queen or king or in this position of leadership in our life, in the driver's seat, at the throne here. The King of Swords embodies this very neutral energy, not overly emotional. Also, when it's in its highest vibration, it isn't harsh, it isn't cutting, it isn't looking to harm, but it's rather being very clear and direct, right? So how we are growing, I think, is also speaking to how we are perhaps better able to really get a sense of where we are in any given moment through our feeling. Yes, very important to have all those feels and all the water, the heart chakra activity, but also, again, invited to bring it into equilibrium, into balance, into moderation, head and heart, right? Between the thoughts, the beliefs, and the feelings, right? And the energy of love and source here coming from the center. So we have, this energy sort of coming together and bringing forth real growth and transformation for us through this energy. Now, another thing that is beautifully depicted here are some dragonflies. So we see here 2 dragonflies on the throne, a dragonfly here at the tip of this sword. Dragonflies are also very beautiful and powerful spiritual totems that have many different meanings. And I always encourage you from an empowered tarot place, I want for you to use the signs and symbols on the card to speak to your personal language. So if you personally have an association with owls, with dragonflies, and that's why I love using these different decks and the symbols that come up, because it's really expanding our vocabulary of symbology that we have with the universe to glean these messages for you, your wise self, seated at the throne of your empowerment, right? So I can tell you what I think about the dragonfly, what I'm getting intuitively hits here for me, but I also encourage you to really feel into what this is saying to you about how you are growing, right? Finding yourself in your wise seat of empowerment here, holding that sword of truth and clarity, crowned and surrounded with the energy of the dragonfly, right? So the dragonfly is an energy of resilience and perseverance, as along with rebirth and transformation, and a number of other symbols that the dragonfly can bring forward. But the reason I say resilience is because when I was starting out creating my passion project, my affirmation cards from Nature Speaks, I've shared those here before, here and there, and it's been a project long on the back burner for me, and something that I look forward to sort of reawakening within me when the timing is right. Having my nature photography and gleaning from those pictures inspired words and things that have come through to me over many years, I have a beautiful picture of the dragonfly, a dragonfly that I saw when I was on a trip one time, and it's a red dragonfly that had just landed on this evergreen branch, right? And so when I was sort of channeling the inspired word for that card, I already had a card that said transformation. I already had a card that said like transition. I had a card that said rebirth. So I felt the energy of resilience because I thought about the evergreen and the tree that it had landed on, and the fact that it was a red dragonfly, which was to me bringing me into the root, into the base, with this strong sense of safety and abundance and all of the root chakra references, but also with those wings to fly and to move about, not just staying anchored somewhere, and then bringing in the energies of the evergreen, persevering in all different conditions and throughout the year. Breadcrumb, 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 the word resilience came forward. So when I think about the dragonfly, I do think about weathering the storm and being resilient. And so giving you my behind the scenes brings me to my message then that comes forward when I tap into us collectively to say, wow, this kingly owl that's sitting here with this crown and this sword of truth and clarity with the dragonflies is showing us the wisdom that we have gleaned, right? We're coming full circle now to this queen of the moon message, to the king of the swords, right? That is having us see the wisdom we have gained through all of these experiences, and how we are able to wield that with a degree of clarity, with precision, and from a place that is like resilient. I am still here, and I'm not just surviving, I'm thriving in my wisdom. I'm thriving in my truth. I'm thriving in my ability to transform through the muck, right? We came from the lotus, the mud, all the way through the trepidation of setting out on the new, allowing ourselves to be inspired and feeling hopeful as we look toward the future, and now finding the wisdom that is coming through all of that, and that we are in turn growing through what we are flowing through. And that is just bringing me all kinds of full circle to what Grow in the Flow was all about for me from the very inception. And the fact that, again, like I say, for myself personally, how this is all lining up, that 3 years into it of figuring out my way and finding what am I doing here, and what is my loving service to the world, and what does that look like, and what do I know, and all the things that we can move through as we experience these deep energies very personally and differently, each of us, and yet we can all come together to this universal symbol of it's all for our learning, it's all for our growth, it's all for our healing, it's all for our expansion into the new. So this is really a powerful totem here this week to help as a beacon for us to tune into as we move through all of this and continue to round out the messages this week. Resilience and perseverance are key. So let's finish that out here with the Friday. Okay, finally Friday, we made it here to the end, and we have the 9 of Wands. And actually, this is a coyote, as the Northern Animal Tarot identifies the totem of the energies of the 9 of Wands. We have the coyote, but the coyote, I had it as a wolf. Nonetheless, an energy of waking up on a cool, crisp morning and finding himself, as we can see there, like seeing their breath, you know, feeling the cold, feeling this energy of needing a time out, okay? Because nines are almost to the end, right? Tens are representing wholeness and completion. Last week we finished on Friday with the 10 of swords, down and out. 10 swords in the back, down for the count, right? These are 9 wands. And they also have a heavier energy because they even can refer to burnout. I mentioned burnout being possible as we move through Friday into Saturday with that energy with Mars conjuncting the sun, and the idea that it can come in hot and heavy and powerful and inspiring, but also burnout, right? So the 9 of Wands is talking about work. Wands is fire. It has to do with our work in the world, our inspiration, our action that we take. So this can talk about your work, your job. It can talk about having a lot of work to do. And it's like all these wands that we've been managing and holding up and navigating. And we kind of come to almost to the end, sort of feeling a little battle worn, you know, like a little weary from all of this scorpionic energies that we've been moving through without much relief. And so it is a breather, but this too shall pass. As I said about the energies coming in this week with the energetic weather report, that this is a card that encourages perseverance. Don't give up. You're almost there. Take a breather, step back, take a look, use your tools, right? Give yourself a chance to sort of recalibrate, but you're almost there. But also, you know, also feeling a little nudge to say, how can I divvy out some of this work? Do I need to really take all of this on? Or again, in the spirit of packing lightly, in the spirit of deciding, you know, very discerningly what's coming with, what's not, what's working, what's not, may I maybe shuffle some things around and change things up a little bit when it comes to all this work, all these wands that I've been carrying. So, and yeah, you know, being that he's out in the cold, there's this feeling of also sometimes feeling on the outs or feeling alone, because I saw it as a wolf. I'm feeling like the lone wolf energy, because if I do decide to set out and I'm packing light and I'm moving on from people, places, and things that maybe were quite heavy or have just, you know, taken their time and have finished out, that cycle has ended, and now I move forward. And maybe I'm moving forward enthusiastically or starry-eyed or, you know, rose-colored glasses romantically, like these energies might suggest. But also this part of me that's very sound and practical and clear on things also knows that, like, hey, you know, playtime is over and the stuff's getting real, right? And it's time for me to really put my focus on what I am building and maybe picking back up some of those things and working with them. But I know how much work it is, and that can feel heavy or daunting in some way. That there is this, you know, again, full circle energy of balance and finding that middle way of utilizing our tools, and knowing that we have everything that we need. And what that means is, you know, like we say, we might say like, yeah, well, I don't have everything I need because I don't have the money, I don't have energy, I don't have time, you know, whatever it is. There's always, always, always some way for us to think outside the box, right? Feeling this energy here of the king, using their intellectual prowess, also calling on the creativity and sparks of the wands, the fire energy. You have 9 of them here. Again, if you don't have it yourself, it is about having the ability to find others and connect with others who can help you along the way. So not being afraid to ask for help, not being afraid to say the thing or to step out there in some way is what I'm feeling there too. So, you know, that might get into a deeper message as we move into the rest of November. But I do feel that there's an opportunity for us to see our circumstances and redefine those wands. And, you know, when they're all lined up like that, we just kind of glaze over and feel like it's like, oh, all of this stuff. But actually look at them again with fresh eyes and see what goodies are there for you to build with. and get creative. That's another thing. Get creative. And that's another thing that energy was bringing in, was the potential for being inspired and feeling, creative juices flowing. So what can I build with these sticks? What can I make out of this? I'm cold. I'm feeling alone. Like, that's my body telling me, showing me that something is shifting or in need of shifting. So what can I do with these sticks to make myself warm or to feel protected? I'm using that as an analogy for the messages that are coming through with persevering, not giving up, but also there is an energy of leaning onto others and allowing yourself to be inspired. And we heard that from a couple of different places too. So we do have that energy coming in. Connecting with others, asking for help, saying the thing, expressing yourself clearly are all tools along the way that you have, right? They may be buried deep. They may be something that are a little rusty, or maybe something you've never even tried before, but it is there. And Scorpio season, the new moon energies have all brought those things up to the surface. Light is shining on them as the Fool's new next leg of the journey begins for you to start out new. So persevering, resiliency, and continuing to flow forward are all messages that are coming up this week. So we'll see how it all goes. As we arrive here on Friday, I remind you, these energies happen throughout the week. These are just placeholders Monday through Friday. These energies could be popping up for you anywhere throughout the week and in so many different ways. I always love to hear from you on how these messages may be resonating for you this week. And also, if you would like a personal card pull for your week ahead, feel free to quick reply here on Marco Polo, or send me a note, or reach out in a way that works for you. And I will be happy to pull a card just for you for your week ahead, along with these energies that have come forward. So thank you for being here with me today. I feel like this was a long one, but it's a deep time. It's a transformational time. And I appreciate you being here with me and inspiring me and keeping me going too, especially when I just want to pull the cover over my head sometimes as well. So keep going, keep growing, keep flowing. We're all in this together. Thank you again for being here. Much love. Okay, finally Friday, we made it here to the end, and we have the 9 of Wands. And actually, this is a coyote, as the Northern Animal Tarot identifies the totem of the energies of the 9 of Wands. We have the coyote, but the coyote, I had it as a wolf, nonetheless, an energy of waking up on a cool, crisp morning and finding himself, as we finish out the week, we mustn't forget our special angels and ancestors oracle message that came through with that final confirmation of these powerful master teacher numbers that are coming through here with 11, 22, and this one, which absolutely was inspiring me, with the master number 33. And as I said, it was giving me the energies of Christ consciousness as we look upon this great teacher card with this message to learn from spiritual experiences. So again, weaving together all of the breadcrumbs that have fallen forward for us here as we have been tapping into our collective energies. I am confirming here now in the Angels and Ancestors Oracle book that in fact this card was inspired by Jesus as one of the master teacher energies that we can tap into here with all that is coming forward. So this message is saying for us this week, know that what is happening around you is divinely inspired. Learn from your current experiences, then share them with others. This is totally on point with everything that we've been saying about all these cards coming forward, from the Fool just setting out all the way to the mature embodiment of the King, right? So all these different archetypes that have shown up for us this week are showing us this Fool's journey and showing us how it is in fact all unfolding for us, and that through all of it is our gathering of wisdom, right? So here is the great teacher. This card is inspired by Jesus, who is one of the most widely acknowledged and loved spiritual teachers of all time. But there is a great teacher in every tradition, and this card represents the one to whom you feel closest. So again, following your own symbology and your own inspirations as far as what these signs and symbols say to you. The teacher wears simple clothes here to demonstrate that even if you live a simple life, it can be incredibly spiritual. He is surrounded by a sense of serenity and harmony because he has absolute trust in the higher power that moves through him. And the dove on the card represents receiving answers to prayers through signs and experiencing peace through joy. And so, dipping further into the message, this card can represent a teacher in your life or the great teacher within you. Either way, it shows you that you have dedicated a lot of time, effort, and energy to understanding yourself and the world. I mean, if you are watching these messages in order, or you have seen the previous words I have just spoken here, wow, because this is absolutely culminating together all these messages that I've been feeling coming in. Like, this feels really validating to me about how I was just saying in that 9 of Wands for Friday, culminating our week, whether this energy is coming from within you or outside of you, it is all for you, right? So it's saying that you are having spiritual experiences at this time, and you're gaining a greater awareness of what you need to do in order to grow. There's a great chance that if you've been having any challenges recently, you've surmounted them and allowed them to be vehicles to lessons that are helping your spiritual connection. If you feel that you've received messages from heaven or the universe recently, this card is confirmation that these have indeed been holy experiences. So again, allow this card and the messages that we see here to inspire you in whatever way speaks to you. This is really, I feel, about the meeting between the teacher, the student, right? The guru, the protege. It's all within each of us. And we are great teachers to each other. And, you know, it could go even deeper with this message with the symbol of the dove and peace and allowing one to spread their wings and to be their own unique light in the world, but understanding how we can all be divinely inspired by each other and the lessons that we teach each other every day through our behavior, our words, our deeds, our interactions of all kinds. And so really bringing all of that into some beautiful alignment here in understanding these real teachings of our life and recognizing that each of these experiences are in and of themselves spiritual, very deep, profound, and all unfolding for us all the time. So allow that message to just kind of settle in with you as you're feeling it. Capping off our messages this week here with the great teacher from the angels and ancestors. So thank you all once again. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you would like your personal card pull, do let me know. I will be now rolling into the new moon in Scorpio energies again for anyone who is interested in coming along to receive those readings. Just reach out and let me know. Thank you so much. Sending lots of love.